What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talking with the Source with me, Robin from Halfern Paranormal. Unfortunately, tonight, AJ can't be here due to work commitments. Uh, the street corners in Connecticut need people dressed up as women. So, unfortunately, he had to go and borrow some makeup and go on a street corner. But he may pop in if he gets a chance. I don't know. He may just be watching. But anyway, we have a fantastic guest on tonight. Before we get to him, I'm going to give a quick shout out to our sponsors and partners in all of this. So the first one is Ghost Energy Drinks. Please check them out. We have Global United Paranormal Foundation, Eldon and all the crew over there. We have PD Region Paranormal, Mr. Robert Humphreys, and Mr. Brian Horton, and a few others. We also have Huntophobia Canada, our good friend Brian John Laverty. Uh, we also have, if I'm getting this in the right order, well, anyway, we have FCD Ghost Boxes. Check out Nigel's builds. Nigel makes some great stuff, so check them out. Also, we have Parapost Network. So we're on live on Parapost at the minute as well. So please check them out, as well as please also check out Paranormal Consultant, Mr. Matt Barron. And if I forgot anybody, I'm not sure if I have, but if I forgot anybody, excuse me, you know who you are. So you know who you are, basically. Uh, a quick shout out also to Mr. and Mrs. AAP. Please check out AAP's Variety channel. Great channel, great family, and absolutely fantastic people. So please check them out as well. Also check out on social media and on YouTube, Huffern Paranormal, Coventry Circle Paranormal, Steve-O at My Journey Paranormal, and also Steve-O and his wife Kelly on S&K Paranormal. All partners of ours. We're all in Talking with the Source together. Please check out all those as well on social media and YouTube. But tonight we have a great guest. We have a guy who has been on multiple TV shows, has been around loads of different countries, done over 2,000 investigations, and he runs a team called Halo Paranormal Investigators. So please, everybody, please welcome Paul Dale Roberts.
Hey,
Hi,
thank you,
Paul.
Robin. Thank you, Robin, for having me on.
Not a problem, pal. Not a problem. So, obviously, first of all, I want to thank you for coming on, for agreeing to come on. Uh, we love to get people on who have had a wealth of experience, and obviously, you have had. So, my first question to you, Paul, is how did you? It's the usual one. How did you get into the paranormal?
Um, as a child, I lived on Effie Street in Fresno, California, and all kinds of things were happening to me. Everything was centered on me, and um, while I was there, and now, Robin, I don't. As I grew a little bit older, I was trying to find out if these were childhood nightmares or what I was experiencing was really the paranormal. And I'll just tell you a few of the little stories over there. But there was this thing, and it was like a black tea kettle, and you can hear it rolling down the sidewalk. And it came up to my window. My window opened halfway. The snout pointed towards me and blew out this green mist, and then took off. The next day, I was sickly ill. I had bronchitis, the flu, the whole works. So that was one incident. Another incident is an entity actually pushed me into the heater and burned my leg. And another incident is I was looking out the bedroom window towards the orange grove, and you can hear a female saying, and she was calling me by my middle name, Dale, come here. Dale, come here. She was trying to entice me to go into the orange grove. And another night, I saw these things like flying skulls. It was skulls with wings and everything else flying into the bedroom. And I started hacking and coughing. And my mother came in and gave me a teaspoon of poison. She didn't know, she thought it was cough syrup, but she was actually giving me poison. She made me go ahead and throw it up and everything else. And when I finally moved out of that house with my parents, everything stopped. So as I got older, I started reading paranormal books. I started reading books about from Brad Steiger and everything else. In fact, as I became older and a writer, a lot of my stories went into Brad Steiger's books. So I learned a lot from Brad Steiger. I started reading Eric von Daniken, The Chariot of the Gods. I started getting into everything: cryptids, UFOs, ghosts, demons. And I do a lot of demonic cases, and I do Roman Catholic house blessings. And I also, too, a basic form of exorcism is a full submersion baptism. So if a person tells me that they have an attachment, I will give them a full submersion baptism in their bathtub, swimming pool, jacuzzi, whatever. And it seems like it always works. They'll tell me, they say, Paul, the attachment's gone. And I'm not ordained or anything like that, but I did consult two priests because I'm Catholic.
Yeah.
And the priests told me what I can do, you know, in cleansing homes, and also too to get rid of attachments.
Yeah, yeah. It's quite interesting as well, though, and I think all of us who are into the paranormal and all of us who do the investigations and stuff, it always seems to center around the same thing. It always starts when you're a child,
Oh
and
yes.
as obviously because when you are a child, you're more sort of is it susceptible, I suppose, to the paranormal and to seeing stuff and hearing things, and it always seems to sort of start from there, and then people seem to either like nah, but we'll not bother, put it to the side and forget about it, or like you and myself and whatever. As you get older, you get more curious about it, don't you?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So in my, you know growing up, I didn't realize I was going to be a paranormal investigator, but things led me down that road. Um, when I got into the military in 1973, I worked as an MP, a military policeman, and they had a major drug problem in Germany. So they asked me if I wanted to work undercover. So I was working with CID, Criminal Investigation Division, DST, Drug Suppression Team. And I was working in Germany undercover, got to grow my hair long, wore a beard, and civilian clothes, traveled throughout Germany buying drugs and testifying at Article 32s and court martials. Well, that gave me my investigative skills to become a paranormal investigator. In 1976, I got out, 3-year break. In 1979, I went back in, and I was a 97 Bravo military intelligence. Again, that helped me towards being a paranormal investigator. So, and what I learned when I was military intelligence, I was with the Photo Interpretation Center in Korea, and I was at Yongsan Barracks, and 6 photographs came in of UFOs. They were taken by our reconnaissance satellites and reconnaissance planes, and they were different type of UFOs. One was globe shaped, one was disc shaped, one was triangular, one looked like a fireball, on and on and on. And on the back of those photos, it said intelligent movement.
Yeah.
So that told me right there, even in 1969, when Project Blue Book was closed down, the military continued looking into UFOs. And look at it now. I mean, NASA's talking about having a UFO group
Yeah, I've seen
investigating
that.
UFOs. Yeah. And that TikTok UFO that came out. I mean, everything it seems like is leading really close to disclosure.
Yeah, I think it's also a case of more people are starting to ask about it now. So, and more people are starting to, read about it and look into it. Just before we go any further, I want to say a quick hello to Anne, who's watching on Facebook, and to our paranormal sister from the Global Ghost Hunt, Patty Adams. Hello, Patty. Uh, but yeah, I think a lot of people are starting to be more inquisitive about it, and also these UFOs, they're starting to be seen more readily as well. More and more people are actually coming out now and saying, yes, we've seen these, we've seen this, we've seen that, and it's the same with with ghosts and the paranormal and stuff. Where we spoke about this with a guest the other week, where years ago it was sort of frowned upon. I mean, if you mentioned to someone, "Oh, I can see ghosts," they'll be like, "Yeah, yeah, call someone and get them taken away." But now it's like it's more acceptable now, isn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah. So many people embrace paranormal stories, paranormal investigations, everything else. I mean, I have the paranormal hotline. I get phone calls constantly. Well, not constantly, but a lot. And
Yeah,
and if they're in our area, we'll investigate.
definitely. Yeah, another one here. Good friend of ours, Mister and Mrs. AAP. Bam! I got to do that. He does it all the time. Uh, no, it's. I mean, I've seen something before, and you know, I didn't speak about what I seen for years because people were saying, and this is in the UFO thing. People would be like, I mean, back in the day, it was like I don't know what it's like in the states really, but over here it was like, UFOs, yeah, yeah, whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like there we are.
Now they call it UAP,
Yeah,
unidentified aerial phenomenon. So I
yeah.
mean, yeah, they had to give it a different name.
Mr. and Mrs. AAP say hello, Paul.
Hello, AAP. How you doing? All right.
Uh, yeah, so it's it is one of those things that the paranormal now has got so many like subcategories, hasn't it? Where it used to be when you said paranormal, someone went, "Oh, ghosts," but now there's so many things that are rearing their head, for want of a better term, that it's becoming quite a big topic to talk about, really.
And what's really interesting with paranormal is when we do our investigations, we also too come across what is called living ghosts. And living ghosts, okay, we did an investigation in Old Sacramento at a costume shop called Evangeline's. And about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, sometimes the employees who are trying to get things ready for the next day, they hear sounds coming from the third floor. And those sounds are feet shuffling, people laughing, some music going on that sounds kind of like disco. And so we did an investigation and we did get people laughing. And we heard people, their feet were shuffling like they were dancing or something. Well, come to find out, on the third floor, back in the 70s, it was called Dio Mills. It was a nightclub, a disco nightclub. So what I call that and what other people have called it is living ghosts. And there's a case example in 1974 in Chicago, Illinois. This couple, they moved into this house And around about 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, and usually things happen during that time, they would see a man manifest and walk over to the couch, and a woman would manifest, and he would start striking the woman. He would hit her, and then they would dissipate. Well, this happened a few times over, and they went to a block party in their neighborhood. And the host of the block party says, "Yeah, we do this every year. Here's some photo albums of our past events." So the lady was like thumbing through the photo album, and then she came upon a picture. And on that picture was the couple in her house that would manifest the man who's hitting the woman. And she goes, "Oh my God, this picture. Those are the ghosts in my house." And the host looks at her and goes, "What are you talking about, ghosts?" He goes, "Yeah, those two did live in your house. They had domestic disputes. The police were there all the time. They got a divorce. She lives 5 blocks down the road, still alive. And a man lives out of state, and he's still alive. How are they ghosts?" Well, they're ghosts because they projected so much negative energy into the atmosphere that it was implanted there, and it replays over and over and over again. Those are your living ghosts. And we've had a lot of cases of living ghosts.
Like the stone tape theory, really, isn't it? All the energy that's created, it lives in, it stores, doesn't it? It's like it all has to store somewhere, and then it replays over and over again.
Yeah, yeah. And so,
So
Robin, have you experienced that?
I've I wouldn't. All I've experienced really in my time. I mean, I've seen a lot of stuff in my time, as in ghost wise, but you know, I can recall once that I remember I thought I'd seen someone that was still alive, but the most of my ones are are gone. For some reason, when I tend to do my investigations, and I can sort of, I find that I can sit there and I can put my head down and close my eyes, and I can I can basically let whatever it is come to me, and I can start building a story to it. And a lot of mine, it seems to go way back, where people might say, "Oh, I got someone from the 1990s or the 1980s." I mean, sometimes I'm going back centuries, and that kind of thing fascinates me because, you know, these days there's not many people that are still alive, even from the early 1900s.
Mm-hmm.
So as we go on, the history that goes back that far, and this is written down, is going to get sketchier and sketchier because there's going to be nobody, excuse me, alive from that time to be able to tell that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But what I seem to be able to tune in further back than that, and it can be quite fascinating, really.
Yeah. And also, too, like in our investigations, too, we all know that orbs could be dust, could be dewdrops, it could be light refractions, could be skin flakes, could be lint, could be almost anything. But we had a case where a ghost named Emily was draining the energy from the occupants. So when we did the investigation, one of my investigators says, "Paul, I'm really drained. My energy is drained." And I said, "Sit down." And I said, I said, "Maybe Emily's doing that." So I said, "Emily, if you're listening to me," and I had two other investigators with cameras. I said, "Emily, if you're listening to me, and if you like him," I said, "kiss him." So we took a picture, and all three pictures, there's a picture of an orb on his mouth.
Wow.
And I said, "Whoa." I said, "That's intelligent movement, just like those UFO photos, right?"
Yeah.
So I said, "Okay, Emily, if you're listening to me," I said, sit on his lap. So only this time, one camera, I snap a photo, and the orb is hovering over his lap, showing intelligent movement. And something like that I can deem as paranormal.
Yeah, definitely.
Hmm.
See, I've I've got a bit of a problem with orbs to a certain extent. Now, obviously, what you're saying, I 100% agree with that. But there's, like you said, there's so much. Uh,
Yeah, it could be bugs.
can be orbs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I tend to look for is either like what you were saying, or if they move in a certain way. Do you know what I mean? Like I had one in a house I used to live in, and I'd set a camera up, and I stood behind a camera, and I said, "Can you come towards the camera?" And one literally came in from one way and turned at the camera and went back. And I thought to myself, it was when I zoomed into it, it was just a perfectly round ball of light, and it came, like I say, it came right in front of the camera, come right round, and then back out again. And I thought, I deem that as an orb, definitely as a spirit of someone. But there's a lot of ones that people film. Oh, it's like raining orbs, and it's like, well, no, you've just moved the chair, you know what I mean, or something like that. It's obviously kicked a bit of dust up.
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. So you're doing the same thing. You're looking for some type of intelligence, or
Yeah,
if
I
it's
actually,
listening to me. Yeah.
yeah, I got a great intelligent one. Last Monday we had a permission visit to a pub near us, and we went in there, and I had my mother-in-law, who's in my team. She's my skeptic, and her friend. They were with me there. It was us three from our team. And what I did was, there was a basement, and then there was like three floors. And I says to them, right, I want you to go down to the basement, you two, and stay in the basement. And I'm going to go up to the third floor, and I'm going to do a call out session. And I went up there, had the camera on, and what I'll do is, after we finish here, I'll send you the clip, right? And if you listen to it with headphones on, I say to the spirit, I say, "Can you make the lights in the basement flicker for those ladies?" And a few seconds later, it comes back and says, "Hi." Oh yeah. So, and I was like, "Whoa!" And that was basically caught with a mobile phone.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So, it's intelligent responses as well. Can you make the lights flicker? Well, hi. And then, oh yeah, obviously realized. But when I was doing that, straight after that, you hear me saying on camera, I could have swore I heard a whistle there. So whatever it was trying to speak. Obviously, for the naked ear, it was a whistle, but on camera, it was picked up as an intelligent response, which was pretty good.
I did a documentary for Sky TV in England, and we were trying to summon Michael Jackson. So I don't know if you guys ever saw that on TV, but they brought the hair of Michael Jackson to the Shrine Auditorium, and in the Shrine Auditorium back, I think 1974. I'm not really sure. Michael Jackson did a Pepsi commercial. His hair caught on fire, and part of his scalp with his hair fell on the stage, and this maintenance man, janitor, found that hair and sold it on eBay for $10,000. So the guy, yeah, so the guy brought this envelope with Michael Jackson's hair, and we tried to summon Michael Jackson. Well, I did an EVP session, and I do what is called quick and dirties. I'll just say something simple. Is there anybody here? I pause, give it time to talk, and play it back. And I did that on stage, and I said, Michael, we have your hair here. Are you here? And he says his name. We got a response of what sounded like a child saying Michael. So that was, and we got it right on TV.
Excellent, excellent. It's great when you get a response like that because it's like, you know, it's like you saying, is there anybody here? And something will say, two cars. You're like, well, that doesn't make sense. You know what I mean? It's, you ask one question and you get a complete random answer. But when you get something like that, it's like, you're like, yeah, you can start verifying it then, and then you can nearly start up a full conversation then because you actually know that the person that you're wanting to talk to or the person that you've picked up on is there. You can practically start a full on conversation then, can't you?
You sure can. Yes.
So obviously you've done a lot of traveling in your time. You've visited a lot of countries and stuff. So have you witnessed any paranormal activity in other countries?
Yeah, I've done a lot of traveling. I've been to Moscow, Russia. I've been in England. We did Tower of London, the East End where the Cray twins and Jack the Ripper hung out at or did their dastardly deeds. Um, we actually got to go inside Buckingham Palace when Buckingham Palace was open to the public. So, yeah, we did a lot. And, excuse me, um, while we're in England, when I was walking the East End, I felt something touching my shoulder. And that was kind of creepy. And in the Tower of London, I actually got an EVP of someone screaming. But on our investigations with Halo Paranormal Investigations, we've done Area 51, Skinwalker Ranch. Um, we did Aruba looking for Natalie Holloway's ghost. And we actually, on the beach where she possibly was killed at, we got an EVP of a woman saying, "Help me." So that was really, really interesting. Um,
Yeah.
my wife, she's a psychic medium, and as a child, she was actually abducted by a UFO. So she has a strong connection with UFOs. And there was one day we're going through Elk Grove on a street called Longleaf, and she tells me, she goes, "Paul, pull up into here, into this parking lot." I go, "Why?" She goes, "Just do it. Don't ask me why. Just do it." And it was a state building there. There was this empty parking lot. And she goes, "Stop the car here." She goes, "There's something in the sky over there." So I'm looking and I don't see nothing. She's looking, she doesn't see anything. But she takes her smartphone, she snaps a picture, and on the picture are three UFOs, disc shaped, very bright. And I said, "Wow." She goes, "I just knew there was something in the sky there." That picture went into 410 Times, which is a magazine out of England, and it went viral, went around the world because I explained how she got it. And that was the first time she did something like that. She also, too, in Copperopolis, California, she's looking in the sky. She goes, "There's something in the sky. I don't see nothing." She snaps a photo, and there's an actual portal in the sky. It actually looks like a door in the sky. It's so weird. And we have
Yeah.
that picture, yeah. But yeah, she picks up on a lot of things. She's very beneficial on her paranormal investigations because she'll show me where the ghosts are. And when I go over there, then I usually get an EVP.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing. You can work together, and it obviously, you can you've got someone like that with you, and you can do that kind of thing because you know My team over here is small. There's basically three of us. There's me. Uh, I'll not say I'm a medium, but I'm quite sensitive, and I can speak. I can see them and I can speak to them, but I wouldn't say I'm a full medium. Uh, Obviously, my mother-in-law, she's my skeptic, and then our eldest son, he's 26, Kyle, and he's getting quite sensitive to it as well. So that's who we have just in ours. Only the three, you know what I mean? The three is quite a small team, but it works. It
Oh yeah,
works. That's the main thing.
that's the main thing. If it works, it works.
Now, you mentioned something a while ago, and you made my ears pick up, right? Because there's two places in this world that I want to visit before I go. One of them is probably quite near to you, the Winchester Mystery House,
I've been there, done that. Go ahead. And what's the other one?
Area 51.
Oh, okay.
Obviously,
Yeah.
I know you can't get into it. Have you actually been into it?
Not inside, no. When we did Area 51, I wasn't in the military or anything like that. Again, Halo Paranormal Investigations, we headed out there. Um, we got to the Alien Inn, and they were really nice people, the people that own that place. And they
Yeah,
told us we can actually camp out in their parking lot, which we did. And we interviewed a bunch of people. We ran up right up to the gate, and three of my investigators claimed they saw a UFO on the side of the hill. I didn't see it, so I don't know. But as I was looking up on the hill, what I did see was a guy in camis, and he's looking at me with binoculars, and I'm looking at him with binoculars. And then all of a sudden, he takes his sniper rifle from across his shoulder and points it right at me. And I'm looking at him in his binocular. I said, "It's time for us to go." So we got out of there, went back to the alien, did some interviews with some people. One lady, it was really interesting. She told me that there was a craft with a man, a human man, in the cockpit, and he was looking right at her, and it was a winged craft, and actually hovered to her eye level. And the pilot looks at her and waves at her. So that was kind of weird. And then we talked to this one guy who claimed he worked at Area 51 and claimed that he knew Bob Lazar and that they do work on exotic material and that he wouldn't elaborate. And that evening, this guy uh, took us out to a village near Area 51. And this one, Robin, you would like, that whole village is abandoned. And why they left, nobody really knows. So he said that the place was haunted. So we did an investigation there. We went into this one house, and this, since we walked in there, this poor bird was flying all over the place because he was stuck in that house. I managed to get that bird outside safe and everything else. Then we would conduct our investigation, got some EVPs. Okay, it's haunted. Um, so we did the village. We went back to the Alien parking lot where we're camped out. We did a night watch. And during the night watch, we saw three objects, starlight type objects that kind of moved erratically. So possibly those were UFOs. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it didn't move like a conventional aircraft. Didn't move
yeah,
like a satellite. So it possibly could be UFOs. So that was our Area 51 experience, and that was exciting.
yeah. It's somewhere. It's somewhere I really want to go to. Uh, you know, up to the gates, and then around that aliens in Rachel, Nevada, isn't it?
Oh yeah, and then we did Skinwalker Ranch. So,
Yeah.
so
I've got
Tim and
101 places over there that I'd love to do, but the Area 51 and the Winchester Mystery House, they're definitely the top two. But are they both far from you?
Skinwalker Ranch is in Utah, so it's quite a ways.
Yeah.
In Area 51, to get there, it takes forever to get there. So, but it's out in the middle of the desert in Nevada, and I would say it's far away.
So what about the Winchester Mystery House? Is it far from you?
That's in San Jose. That would be about 2.5 hours for me.
Right. Well, it's not too far then compared to some then, is it?
When I did Winchester Mystery House, to be honest with you, I really didn't get much.
Did you not pick up on Sarah Winchester?
Mm-mm.
Because they always say that if you do a seance in her bedroom, she'll appear.
Yeah, and I talked to other investigators, and a lot of investigators, they think that the Winchester Mystery House is just a bunch of hype. Is not really haunted. I mean, I really gave it my all, and I didn't get nothing.
Yeah.
But you get these TV shows that go in there, and reality TV. I mean, it's not really reality. Is so I
Well, it
I'll,
also depends as well, doesn't it? The actual, because you might go at a certain time and get nothing, and then I might go the next day and get loads of stuff. So I suppose it probably all depends when you go as well, doesn't it?
yeah, it depends. Yeah, yeah. But usually,
Yeah.
if a place is haunted, I usually do like an EVP sweep, and I can get something probably in the first 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those things. Us people in Britain, we tend to want to go to America to investigate, and the people in America want to come to Britain to investigate. It's like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. England. I mean, I could think of so many things. I mean, when I saw Stonehenge, I was just so fascinated with that place. I mean, so much history. I mean, wow. I mean, even like Ireland, Dublin Castle. I mean, I went under the little caverns underneath the castle. I mean, that's place is fantastic. Um,
yeah,
when I was in Germany, going down the Rhine River, all those castles. I would love to investigate all those castles along the Rhine River. There's just when I did the bridge over River Kwai in Thailand. Oh my God, you could feel the ghosts there. I mean, the place is just the atmosphere is so depressing because there was torture there was murders, there was suicide, people dying of hunger. Is a horrendous place and definitely haunted.
yeah, yeah. That definitely is. I tell you something else. I don't know whether you've been or not, but a lot of people now are heading to Japan. They reckon that Japan's quite uh, haunted.
Suicide Forest. I've been to Tokyo, Japan, and one of the places I wish I went to was Suicide Forest, but I didn't go.
Yeah, there's a load of stuff over there. I watched a few videos. I can't remember who it was now. I was on YouTube one night. I was just flicking through, and I seen someone that did a paranormal investigator investigation in Japan in some abandoned. It looked like an abandoned apartment complex, and that obviously the person had been there for a bit of a break and had done a couple of different places and stuff like that. So, but I've heard of a lot of people that have been heading that way.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, you think about it. I mean, the world's been here for a long time. There's just, I mean, there's hauntings throughout the whole world. I mean, almost everywhere.
Yeah,
There's a place like close to where I live at, and I have people that go, "Oh, I want to go to Old Sacramento. I want to go here and I want to go there." only because various TV shows did it. If the TV shows didn't do it, they wouldn't even know about the place. They wouldn't even care. There are so many places that where the TV shows haven't been to that are extremely haunted. One place I could tell you is Moaning Caverns. It's a huge hole in the ground, and it just pops up on you. I mean, back in the old days, people would accidentally fall in that hole, and the hole is the size of the Statue of Liberty. So many people have died in there. They even found saber-toothed tiger bones down there.
Wow.
And the place is extreme. I repelled down that those caverns, and I'm telling you, that place can really creep you out. I mean, you can feel the ghosts in there. And
Yeah.
here's a place so haunted, no TV show's ever done it, so nobody wants to do it. But you need to look outside the box and go to places where other people haven't even been to.
Yeah. That's that's one thing that I tend to do uh, when I'm doing investigations is I try and look for places, and what I tend to do as well is I go on my Google Maps and I go on the satellite view, and then I pick an area and I basically scan the whole area, and if I see buildings that you know there's no cars at, they look quite overgrown and stuff like that, then I usually pin them and check them out, and more times than enough, I've found loads of good places like that.
Oh
And
yeah,
that like you say, it's going somewhere that very few or nobody's been to,
yeah,
and no TV's been to, and you can go and you can do your investigation, and then if you are one of the first ones that's been there, then if someone else goes, you can always compare their evidence when you see their video, against yours, and see basically what they've got compared to what you've got and stuff. So that kind of thing interests me as well.
yeah. And just I talked to a lot of these new ghost hunting groups and stuff, and it just kind of irks me when they go, "Oh, I want to go so and so. I want to go to Preston Castle because so and so TV show was there." Who cares? Go to somewhere where there wasn't a TV show and find your own stuff. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I kind of laugh
Yeah,
about it.
yeah. It's I get a certain buzz if I find somewhere, and I think I haven't seen this place on anyone. I'm on so many sites over here for paranormal and even for urban exploring, because I used to go on them, and then obviously you'd find out, people would message in and say, I've just done an urban explore at such and such of a place, and it was really creepy, maybe like that kind of thing. But I usually find if you find somewhere, and very few, if any, has done it, you get a certain buzz of it, because it's not oh, you're gonna be the first one to do it, and you can always say you were the first. It's nothing to do with that. It's like, if there is anything in there, if it is haunted and there is spirits in there, and they haven't came across anyone like that before, you know, you could get bundles of activity in there, because they're literally bursting to interact with someone. Whereas these other places, like you say, they've been rinsed that many times that people come out and say, "Oh, I got nothing." Maybe the Spurs are thinking to themselves, "Oh, not again," because
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what happened. I mean, the people are scaring the ghosts, and so now they don't even want to interact anymore because you're bringing all these people into a place over and over and over again.
yeah, yeah, definitely. Uh, I think there's a lot to be said for like trying to go to more obscure places sometimes,
Mhm.
rather than just going to, oh, I've seen, Zach Bagans doing such and such, or I've seen, Johnny's Office, or any of these ones that have been on TV, Destination Fear, or anything like that. I mean, oh, they did, Hensdale House. Let's all go there. Well, it's like, yeah, it's nice to go there and do it and say, I've done it, and there's my video and there's the photos and stuff like that. But you know, you could be on your way there and pass a little old abandoned house up in the hill, and that could be full of them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
There's a lot to be said for that, definitely.
yeah.
So I was going to ask you about a little bit more about the UFO part. So a lot of people associate the UFO part with these little grey beings with like funny shaped heads and stuff like that. And I I sometimes think to myself, well, yes, where did that idea come from? You know, Someone obviously has seen something like that before, and they've put the idea, they've maybe said to a sketch artist or something, "This is what I witnessed," and they've drawn. But I don't think, in my opinion, there'd all be. I think there's so many different variations of what they call aliens, and obviously travel as well. Everybody says, "Oh, it's a round disc with all these lights," but there's triangular shaped ones have been seen. There's rectangular ones have been seen. There's so many variations these days of it. It's like it fascinates you sometimes, really.
Yeah, I mean, there's a variety of aliens. You have your Nordics, who are tall, supposedly have blonde hair or white hair. You have your grays. You have three types of grays. One's small, one's medium, one's a little bit taller. You got the praying mantis type alien. You have uh, some robotic ones. There was one with the claw hooks. There was the New Jersey Devil, um, so which has like a goat face. Bigfoot is associated with UFOs. A lot of times when people see UFOs, they see Bigfoot, or when they see Bigfoot, they see UFOs. So, and you got your reptilians. So, yeah, you have a variety of type of aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's you know, it's every time you see something about aliens, it's always either these grey or they're little green men. And it's like it's not always going to be like that.
Mm-mm. No. And it's just like when people get abducted in the United States, it seems like it's always the grays. But if you go to Russia, they have a different type of alien that seems like they're abducting people. So I'm wondering if the aliens set out different areas on Earth as territories, saying, okay, we're doing our thing here in the United States. You guys do your thing over in Russia or whatever. But yeah, it does seem that way.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So your team, your Halo Paranormal team, how many members do you have on that team then?
Um, we have numerous numbers. Okay, and what we do is, with people say, hey, can we tag along, we give everybody a try. So one day we can have 15 people show up, another time we can have 5 people show up. So we don't, the only set people, our core group, would be me and my wife. And so, but we have a lot of people who join us. They see us on Facebook, they read my books, they read my articles. I work for 3 publications now. I work for Paranormal Underground magazine, Phenomena magazine out of England, and Costa Rica Times. So a lot of my stories are there, and so I have a lot of people who go, "Yeah, I would love to go." And so, like, sometimes we've had up to 15 people, and it depends on how big the place is. So if I could use 15 people, I say, okay, you guys can all come. So, and I have some people who keep on coming. So, like Mike Ulan and Ryan Privy, Ryan Privy is our equipment specialist. So he's almost on all the investigations. Mike Ulan, he's our little security because sometimes we get some crazy stuff at some of the demonic houses.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so then of course my wife, who's a psychic medium. So anyway, and every we're very transparent. Now, if the occupants say, "Hey, we want to keep this confidential," sure, we'll keep it confidential. We'll leave your name out of it. We won't mention your address or anything else. But I'm still writing an article about it. So um, so people can read about all our investigations. Nothing is hidden, because I see so many ghost hunting groups and go, "Oh, our investigation was great last night. Where did you investigate?" "Oh, I can't tell you uh, because it's confidential." So why even put that in out there in
Yeah.
Facebook?
Yeah.
The investigation was great. So what? If you're not going to tell the story, I don't want to hear it. Don't post it.
Yeah.
So yeah, we put out the story. So we let them know ahead of time. Hey, we do videos, everything else. Well, if you want to, we'll keep your face off the camera. But yeah, we're going to let people know out there because so many people need paranormal help and they want to know what's going on. We are very transparent and we're going to put that information out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, as it needs to be sometimes, or even most times, the more information that's put out there, the more information that we can collectively gather as investigators and teams, the more we can try to prove what we know is there that a lot of people don't believe in.
Yeah. I mean, you can't learn nothing if you're just saying, "Oh, the investigation was good." But you can learn something if you got YouTube videos where other people can watch. You got a story, you got an article written, you got book out, whatever, but you got something that you can fall back on and you can learn. So we
Yeah,
can learn from each other.
yeah. And
But for
another thing that I believe in as well is if you're doing your videos for YouTube and you go somewhere and you do an investigation and you don't get anything, sometimes it's still good to post that on your channel because
yes,
you don't know.
absolutely, absolutely, yes, yes,
Yeah.
I
Because you
totally
don't know
agree.
who else is going to go there and what they're going to pick up, and you could have been there on an off night.
Yeah. And yeah, if we don't get nothing, we still publish. We publish a story, we publish YouTube videos. Hey, we didn't get nothing. No photo anomaly, no EVP, nothing. But hey, you're learning from it.
Yeah, you are, and
Yeah.
and you might. What I tend to do sometimes as well is if I go to a location and I think it's a really good location, but I don't get anything, I'll leave it a little while and I'll go back again and I'll do another one and then I'll think, right, and then I can compare both videos. Did I get something here and I didn't get it there? Or, sometimes it's better like that. I always feel, unless it's somewhere that gets bought up or gets demolished, if it's still available, I usually try and get back a month or two down the line.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So that, but I like to focus on, like I say, on abandoned places, or I'll go anywhere I can get a chance to go. But I think with abandoned places, there's nobody, providing you're not causing a nuisance or anything like that. A lot of the times, there's nobody turns up. Nobody knows you're there. You can go in, you can take all the time you want over your investigation and stuff like that, and then you just publish what you have, don't you?
hmm Absolutely. Yeah,
Definitely.
Robin, I would love to fly over to England and do an investigation with you.
Well, I'm the same. I love to fly over there and do an investigation with you. I want to go to Area 51.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Area 51.
uh,
Yeah, yeah. Well, with my wife and I, we investigated places in Boston, um, Charleston, South Carolina, Colorado. Um, oh, Panama City, Panama, Hawaii, and yeah, all the places that we went to Salem, Massachusetts. That place was just wild. And they have a place called the Temple of Satan. We actually went there. Um, that's where they had Salem witch trials.
Yeah.
Very, and the history alone, even if you don't find nothing, just listening to the history is just a mind blower. I mean, it was very fascinating.
Yeah, sounds like it. So, I've heard a few people talking about that, and it sounds very, very good. But I've got a quite an interesting question for you here. Is which place that you've been to for an investigation has been your favorite? As in, you think that it's the best place for activity, and you've got the most kind of.
Hmm, that's a tough one because there's so many good places. I would have to say the Tower of London. I mean, just so many things happen here: murder, suicide, torture. I mean, people were in agony and pain. They were chained up over there. I mean, you can just feel it. I mean, that place is. Robin, have you did the Tower of London?
I haven't. No, I haven't been inside it.
Well, that place is really creepy. Um, oh, where else? Well, when I was in Moscow, that was kind of interesting. Um, there was the Kremlin headquarters. Um, we got some EVPs out of there. Um, the cosmonauts are buried out there. We saw Lenin, and he's mummified, and we got to walk around the corpse. It was just the history, the investigation itself, Red Square, just so much Kremlin. I mean, there's a lot of history there and a lot of deaths. So,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So,
definitely. Yeah.
I don't know. It's just so many places. And we've also, too, done a lot of serial killer victim sites. We did Richard Trenton Chase, aka the Vampire of Sacramento, Charles Manson. We did uh, Richard Ramirez, the Night Stalker, uh, and we seem like we always get a lot of evidence with these serial killers. Um, the I-5 Strangler, which is Roger Kibbe.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah,
Hi,
I
Sean.
yeah yeah. So yeah, we've done a lot of serial killer ones, and oh, Doritha Puente, that's right here in Sacramento. She killed 9 people for their social security checks, buried them in her yard. So we actually investigated that house. Um, Leonard Lake, Charles Ing, 2 serial killers that killed about 30 women, videotaped their torture and murder. That place, we took a picture and we got this mist in the form of a it was in the form of a woman. It was out in the middle of the field. The cabin itself, where all the murders took place, was actually burned down. Oh
People have seen enough of it and wanted it gone, man.
yeah, oh yeah.
I mean, I think that side of it, I don't want to get myself in a bit of bother here by saying this. It's not going to. I don't mean it to sound the way it does, but a lot of the serial killer stuff is quite interesting. Obviously, completely and utterly condone what they do because it's nowhere near right. But I think if you can go to somewhere like you say that one of these sick-minded people have been to and done that, you might even be able to bring some peace to some of the families. If you can make contact with someone like that, or whether if it's a victim, and you can sort of basically clarify who it is and stuff, you can maybe bring some peace and stuff to the families and things. So that kind of thing would interest me really. It would be more of going to these sites and trying to speak to the victims of it. You know what I mean? And like, because it's it's one of these things that frustrates me. If there's a serial killer on the loose and he's still alive and he's still killing, and you happen to go to somewhere where the bodies were found, and you happen to make contact with someone, and it doesn't stand up in court. But further down the line, why shouldn't it? If you can prove who you're speaking to, and you can get all the details for it, it's
Yeah,
one of those.
yeah,
I just
yeah.
don't understand it. It's it's bringing peace to the families, but it should be able to bring people to judgment. You know what I mean?
Yeah. We even went to the house where the Golden State Killer lived at, and he was known. He had several names. He was called the East Area Rapist. Um, uh, the oh gosh, something. Oh, the Modesto Ransacker or something like that. And then he became the Golden State Killer. He killed numerous people. So yeah, we've done a lot of very macabre type investigations, but and got some strange evidence, and usually it's photographic evidence. So
Yeah,
like Richard Trenton Chase, aka the Vampire Sacramento, we went to one of the victims' homes, and inside that home we got a lot of mist, and you couldn't see it with the eye, but when you took a picture with the camera, all this floating mist.
yeah,
So yeah, very
had that before
strange.
as well.
Yeah, very strange.
Definitely. Well, listen, Paul, I want to thank you for coming on. It's
Thank
been
you.
an absolute pleasure to talk to you, and I will get you back on again when AJ is available at some point, because I know that he wanted to have a chat with you as well, and he couldn't be here. But like I say, I appreciate you coming on and speaking to us and stuff like that. And well, definitely, if you're up for it, we'll have you on again sometime.
And here's our business card. I'm gonna give you a business card here,
There we are.
and you can see where our website. That's our psychic medium, my wife, and you can see that we do demonology, blessings, and occult and research, psychic readings, you name it, we do it.
Yeah, no problem. Well, before we go, Paul, uh, if you want to just let people know where they can find you on social medias and any websites and stuff like that, there just go ahead and tell them.
It's so simple, okay? Because I've been involved with a lot of TV shows. So all you have to do is just Google my name, Paul Dale Roberts, and it'll take you everywhere. You'll see the stories, you'll see the IMDb, the TV shows we've been involved with. It's all there. So it's real simple. And we do have a website. It's www.cryptic916, CRYPTID916.com.
Yep, no problem. And it's Halo Paranormal Investigations as well, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yep, they
Absolutely.
are. So anybody that's watching or watches this in the future, if they want to know more about Paul or watch any of his stuff, you know where to go to. But Paul, thank you very much for coming on. I appreciate it.
Robin, it was a pleasure. It was a pleasure. It was a lot of fun.
And yeah, I'll stay in touch with you, and I'll organize another date for you to come on when AJ's on.
Okay, absolutely. And send me the link when this is published, and so I could
Yeah,
blast it out there.
I will do. And also, I'll send you that little clip I was telling you about I got the other night.
Yeah, I would like to see that.
Yeah, I will do. No problem. Thanks, Paul.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
No
you.
problem. See you later.
Okay, take care.
Right, people. I hope you enjoyed it. I did. Right up my street, that is, talking about all that kind of stuff. Uh, Obviously, before we go, uh, just want to say check out the Global Ghost Hunt. Uh, it's the website will be up pretty soon. It's something that we're involved in at the minute, and it's going to be massive. It's going to be absolutely massive. So please, please go and check that out as well. It's happening in 2023. So all the ones I shouted out earlier on, please check all those out on social medias as well. And like I say, there'll be more people coming on. I'm trying to think who the next one is. The next one is there's no podcast next week. Uh, there's let's see, the following week. I'm sure it's a fellow called Christopher Allen Brewer. But obviously keep an eye on the Facebook page and stuff, and the announcements will be up on there. But and it's just got really dark in here for some reason. Anyway, stuff going on as we're talking. Uh, yeah. So from myself and AJ and Steve-O and everybody at Parapost and everything, thank you all for watching, and we'll see you again pretty soon. Bye bye.